You are tuned in to Making a Difference with Melissa Billy Clark. This show shares compelling stories and experiences of well-known faces and everyday people who change the world in big and small ways. Get ready to open your mind and your heart with Melissa Billy Clark.
Thank you for tuning in to Making a Difference. This episode focuses on gratitude in honor of Thanksgiving weekend. Our first story starts with 10-year-old Jonathan, who made a big difference in a homeless man's life that he and his mom, Anna, came encounter with.
He saw this guy on the highway, and then my mom gave him $2. And I said to my mom, maybe we should get him more stuff. And we did. We got him some chicken, salad, warm hat and gloves, and we got him a blanket. We had a little stocking for him, which was filled with $20. Gave him a little sack to put it all in.
And it happened to be his birthday the day prior?
Yes, and I don't think any of his family members called him.
And what did he say to you when you gave him this?
He was so grateful. He said that this made my day, his birthday, and his Thanksgiving, and all of his holidays.
And what do you want other kids to know about helping others in need?
I want other kids to know that, you're never too small to make a difference. When you're kind, it has a very good feeling. It's a very good feeling.
Hannah, how does it feel to know that your son did this? How does it make you feel?
To say that I'm a proud mom is an understatement. Sorry, I'm crying, but just the fact that he's such a, at a young age, really realized everything I've kind of embedded and taught him. And for me, the most amazing part is that this young boy always thought about the meal he was getting this man, the fact that he wasn't sure if he had utensils, and he made sure that he picked out things that he didn't have to use those things for. So, and he was just so excited and happy. And it really made not only the gentleman's day, but Jonathan's day. He kept talking about it through and through.
My mom has basically always told us to always stay humble and always be kind to others, because when you do something kind, it's a great feeling.
In life, we face trials and tribulations. However, it's those around us who provide support that will guide us through our experience with comfort. Marianne Arnold was diagnosed with mesothelioma last year, and with the love of her family and a rotating house built by Deltec and the help of ERS, this family's love circles around their beloved mother. This Thanksgiving weekend, we sit with Marianne and her son Steve to discuss her gratitude for each day. Her story is about faith, strength, and we admire her for talking with us and making a difference in those who are going through the same as her. Marianne and Steve, thank you so much for joining us today. You're in Canada. How are you both?
I had my chemo this morning, and I'm doing quite well right now. Thank you.
Very glad to hear that. Thank you, Marianne. We're so honored to have you on this show. Now, mesothelioma is a malignant tumor that is caused by inhaled asbestos fibers and form in the lining of the lungs, abdomen, or heart. Marianne, because this is a rotating house, you're able to get different scenic view. So tell us, how does it make you feel? Like today you had your chemo, and some days you have off days. So how does it make you feel to see different scenes when you're not feeling good?
Well, when I can stay awake long enough, I find my energy level is extremely low, and I do sleep a lot. But Stephen makes sure that my bedroom, which has sliding patio doors and 2 huge windows, he tries to make sure that I'm overlooking the ocean, which is my favorite view.
Mm-hmm.
I find, I mean, it's huge. It's the Atlantic Ocean. It's huge. And I can hear the waves breaking on the shore. I can get lost just looking out at the vastness and the power of the water. And my background is as a nurse, and I know that it's very important to be aware of the outside world when you're sick.
Yeah.
It's really important that you touch base with nature. And if you're in the hospital, if you can demand possibly a bed by the window so you can see the world, so you know that you're not in isolation. It's really not good to be isolated. So I can see fields with the bales of hay and watch the farmers when they load the bales of hay on their wagons. I can rotate to the street area and watch people out for their walks, which I envy. And in the wintertime, it's really fascinating to watch a storm come in over the ocean, to watch the snowplows try and deal with huge banks of snow. I just, the other thing about the uniqueness of the house is that we can rotate out of the bad weather when our entryway can be rotated out of the bad weather, the slashing rain. We can rotate to see sunsets, sunrise. We watch the fishing boats go out at lobster season. These are all things that keep me in touch with what's going on around me and being part of the world.
You kept your faith throughout the journey that you went through when you were first diagnosed. Why was it so essential to keep your faith now more than ever?
I really, I just can't imagine not having something like that to help you through such a situation. It's a lonely journey. Your friends and your family are there with you for support, and that is so important and means so much. But you have many hours alone too, and I think just having a faith, you can't. It's something you hope for, but you can't see. I know there's no cure for this illness, statistically, but then I also believe that God will decide, and maybe He's using me now to reach out. That's why I'm still here, perhaps. So maybe I can help somebody by my example. I do want to, I am aware that people are watching to see how I handle this. I want to show strength, but I have to have my faith to get that strength and courage. And Stephen knows I'm not always there, but I do a lot of self-talk, and I do like to read good books. I like to read about other people's experiences, and how with this illness, and how they coped, and I find that all very, very helpful. But as a nurse, I witnessed I sat at the bedside of many deaths, and I must say the people that had faith are the people that did it gracefully and beautifully. People that have no faith, I found, were restless and in pain, and had difficulty with the whole process. It can be beautiful. It's part of life, and it can be beautiful. But you have to have your head in the right place. That's for sure.
And the head of the right place of your family members too. I believe it's people who are surrounding you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I have a lot of friends from over the years that have been so supportive. I'm so blessed. I really can't believe that. I mean, why bother with me? I'm on my way out. but they've been absolutely wonderful. And it does help. It really does help.
Yeah, I like your positive attitude, Marianne, and I like that you keep your faith. Like you, I believe in God, and I told you before that I saw my mom perish in front of me, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. Just so happy for her. And what I use is, if God brings you to it, He'll see you through it.
Yes.
So that's a beautiful saying,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy that you have such a wonderful family, and your son is sitting right next to you.
Yes.
So. How did COVID-19 impact your family, Marianne?
Oh, adversely, for sure.
Yeah.
My GP called me in February to tell me of 2020, to tell me that I had mesothelioma. But in order for chemo to start, they had to have a biopsy of the lung. And that could not be done here on Prince Edward Island. I would have to go to Halifax, Nova Scotia. And February is when COVID was really at its, worst, I guess.
Right.
And so I couldn't go to Halifax. I couldn't go anywhere. They wouldn't take me. So I had to sit from February until May, knowing I had cancer, knowing I could have no treatment until I had the biopsy. So in May, I was able to go to Halifax and have the biopsy. And of course, it showed the malignancy or the cancer. Then when I came home, I had to isolate for 2 weeks. So I was in the family home, but I had to stay in my room, or they cordoned off an area in the living room for me so I could come out and kind of be with everybody, but not. Right. Stephen, in order for Stephen to take me to Halifax, it's a 4-hour drive, and he wouldn't be allowed to get out of the car, or if he did, then he'd have to isolate for 2 weeks. So he stayed in the car. He put plastic between the front and the back seats so that we couldn't breathe on each other, and I wore my mask. Wow. It was not nice. And then I did get the diagnosis, but then I had to wait for my 2 weeks isolation before I could start my chemo. So it held everything up by 3 months.
How did you feel at that time, Marianne, when you got your diagnosis as a human being?
How did I feel? Yeah. I don't. Stephen was with me when I got the absolute diagnosis in May. It was surreal. It was just like, I'm healthy. I've exercised. I've done aerobics. I eat properly. I haven't, I don't have diabetes. I don't have heart disease, like no other comorbidities. And then it just didn't seem real. And I did have to really think about it and process it. And then it's like, well, my father had mesothelioma, and it's not hereditary or anything like that. But that was back in 2002, before they knew so much about it, I guess. We didn't know until after his autopsy what he had. So I thought, well, there's 4 of us in the family, and apparently only 25% of the people exposed, is my understanding, get mesothelioma. So I'm 1/4. It was me.
Wow.
And
it says that it's caused by asbestos.
Yes. Well, see, my father worked in carpentry and farming and was exposed, and he was also overseas. So he probably picked up fibers. They think my fiber from maybe his clothing, because it can stay in your body for up to 50 to 60 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess I've been carrying this and not even know it. And even with CAT scans and x-rays, it didn't show up until it was too late.
Wow.
So I've never felt whiny. I've never felt angry. I've felt, disappointed, because there's lots I still want to do. But, well, there's so many others with so many horrible diseases. And I really especially think about the children with cancer. And if they're going through even half of what I'm going through, God bless them. I mean, I've had almost 80 years. They're just beginning. Like, I just think about people that are worse off, really. And I'm grateful for what I've had. And I do feel blessed.
We're so blessed to have you here right now with us. Steve, as a son, how do you feel when you hear Mom talk about what she's going through?
I honestly don't know how she does it. I don't. I try. I mean, it's one thing to be around it all the time, but it's still not you. And I just can't imagine how Mom will go to sleep, and when you're dreaming, you forget about everything, and everything's normal. And you wake up every day, and probably for the first 5 seconds, things seem normal. Then you realize that you've got this, this terrible condition, and then you got to repeat the whole day over again, knowing that. And I can't get it out of my mind. So I think it really helps with our family. We have two. I have 2 young kids, 2 girls, 6 and 9 years old.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty busy household with them around, because Mom and Dad, we all live together. And so I think that kind of helps distract, because you do get distracted, and life does present itself in front of you, and you kind of enjoy the moment, and then when that goes away, then you probably revert to thinking, okay, I've got to deal with this. That's what I imagine that's like for Mom. So it's it's you feel really helpless. There's nothing that we can do, to prevent certain things from happening. So it's just about trying to, make the best of things and enjoy what is right here in front of you. And that's sort of what comes down to, I think.
You're doing so much. If I can just give you praise, as a caretaker, it's important that we also praise them as well, because a lot of people just put their loved ones in homes. When I had the hospice come here, the hospice said, not many people are going to do this and take care of their family members. So Steve and your family, I give you a lot of praise, and you're giving Mom a lot of love and light right now. So thank you, Steve. Now, I want to talk about this amazing home from Deltac. Once again, I'm going to give you praise for building this amazing home with Deltac. And what was the other company that you told us, Steve?
So the company that actually provided the rotating platform on which the Deltac home sits is ERS Rotating Structures out of Australia.
I love it. So we'd like to show the house in action. So take a look. Pretty amazing. Now, do you guys feel it when it rotates?
No, actually, it's funny. A lot of people think that the idea of the rotating house is kind of like a roller coaster, and that you want to feel the movement, when nothing could be further from the truth. The idea for the rotation is to get changing views, and we actually have it move so slow, and it's designed so that you will not feel it move. Unless you were looking, you wouldn't know you're moving.
Wow. Now, tell us about this unique house that rotates. What are some of the special features? Why did you decide to build a house that rotates? And just tell us about the unique round shape.
Sure. So we built the world's first rotating house with rental units in a true 4-season environment back in 2013. It also houses the world's only rotating elevator, to my knowledge, which we have to access our floor, which is on the 2nd level.
Right.
So the ground floor has 4 625 square foot condos that rotate slowly to give everybody a variety of ocean and Farm Hill views. And that was really the reason why we chose to do that. We were planning on building around Deltec home because of its energy efficiency and strength for strong winds.
Yeah.
And then we saw a rotating house in Australia when my wife were visiting Australia, which was also round. And we thought, wow, if we rotated our Deltec, then all of our 4 condos on the ground floor could get a variety of beautiful views. And it would be the first of its kind in the world and a bit of a bucket list experience for our guests. So Luke Everingham of ERS Rotating Structures in Australia was a little bit hesitant about the idea until he learned that the load points matched up almost perfectly with how the Deltec homes survive strong winds, which meant that it could handle a slow, controlled rotation with no problem at all.
Love it so much. So how does it feel for you to provide this to your mom?
Well,
Just me.
I think that the benefits of having a rotating house for people who are less mobile speak for themselves. You know, we've actually had several people who have been terminally ill and unable to move around come choose to stay with us because they could see changing views outside and feel like they are part of different experiences, all from the comfort of their chair without having to leave their condo. And I think that, Mom is certainly a lot more mobile than a lot of people that we've had. But, she does get tired easily. That's why we put in the elevator. And she doesn't get out quite as much as she used to. So this way, she's able to sit out, see the water, see the farmers, see people walking, see the neighbors. And it really sort of makes you feel like you're still involved in the outdoor activities, even though you're not.
Yeah, so nice. Marianne, do you have anything you'd like to say to your son?
There's so much I could say. He's just been, I have 2 boys and they've both been wonderful. The other one's far away in Toronto, but Stephen has been there for me right from the beginning. I told him the other day he was my rock. I rely on him a lot and I appreciate him. Yes.
I relied on her for many years growing up, so I'm happy to return the favor.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say to Mom, Steve?
Oh, just that I love her, and she thinks it's a big deal, being looked after and here with us. But she's, believe it or not, she's not that much trouble.
Marianne, Steve, you guys are amazing. I'm so happy that you have this house where you can heal emotionally and spiritually. Marianne, does that make you feel good knowing that, you're in this house filled with love and filled with this beautiful world for the time that you're here? Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to the grandchildren.
Yeah.
Like he says, it's a great distraction. And there are times when I think, I don't know, maybe I should just stop fighting. Like I'm tired. And then one of the grandkids will come out with something that is just so precious. And it's like, oh my gosh, I would have missed that. I need to be here. So it does help a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Every moment is special. And
it is.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to have you and have you with me right now. This is amazing. Thank you so much for being on Making a Difference and making a difference in this world. One quick question: What would you tell somebody who is diagnosed with a terminal illness? What advice would you give to them, Marianne?
Oh, well, I think I don't fuss and sweat the small stuff. That's one thing I would say. And don't be judgmental. There are some people who don't know how to handle somebody that they were close to with an serious illness. Some people back away. They don't know what to do. And don't be harsh with your judgment because it's not that they don't care. They don't understand. They don't know what to do. And most people I find are very kind and very generous and very helpful and interested and concerned. Accept people where they're at, I guess, as they are. I wish I had something profound to say,
You said great words. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you brought I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I'm very glad that you brought that up, because people do back away from their loved ones. I believe that they're just scared. They're
Yes.
afraid of a lot of things, losing
Yes.
them and not being able to take care of them.
Right.
So thank you for bringing that up. Well, I want to thank you both so much. Enjoy your beautiful home. And thank you for being here. And Steve, thank you so much as a caretaker to you and your family. Taking care of Mama.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. This episode is dedicated to caretakers around the world. Thank you for your love to those who feel alone. This episode is sponsored by Preferred Health Magazine.
Hi, I'm Angelina Cappiello, publisher and editor-in-chief of Preferred Health Magazine. PHM hosts interviews with today's top physicians, experts in the healthcare industry, and some of today's most beloved celebrities. So head on over to www.preferredhealthmagazine.com today to receive your free digital subscription. And be sure to catch me on our new podcast, Talking Points with Preferred Health Magazine, streaming now on Spotify and YouTube.
Thank you for tuning in to Making a Difference. I'm your host, Melissa Billy Clark. If you'd like to learn more about our show, please visit our website at melissabillyclarkshow.com. If you'd like to sponsor or be a guest, email melissa@melissaclarkshow.com. Let's make a difference together.